Hi guys, how are you all doing? So in this particular episode of Learn with Tridib, I'm going to show you how you can make a moderate okay design to a good design. So what is the basic difference of a bad design, good design and great design? In a bad design, most probably it is done by a novice designer who is just learning. There's no harm in it. And many times what happens by the entire rush to create something new, they often don't follow the principles of designs. So what are the basic principles of designs? The basic principles of design should be that the design should be having the alignment correct. It should be balanced properly. The fonts that are used should be very well laid out. It should have the hierarchy. The contrast should be nice. So all these things makes a design good. But how a good design goes to a great design? Good design to a great design is a different journey altogether. In this particular episode, I might not go to the great design. It will be in a different design. In this particular design, I will try to show you guys that how a pretty moderate design, a pretty okay design can be made a really good one. But just adjusting some little bit of things in the design, creating the balance correct, making the contrast perfect, using the right font. By right font, I would like to tell you that most of the new designers, they don't even know that what font is good and what font is rubbish. Many times they pull out fonts from anywhere and they try to use and adjust in their design. But there are certain grammars in a particular font. There are fonts which you will really like, and when you are putting those fonts in your design, you will immediately understand that this design is working perfectly for you. But sometimes it so happens that the basic appearance of the font will dissuade you or dissuading to not use the font in your design. Sometimes it happens the kernings are not proper, the edges are too jagged, too roundish, too spiraling, too difficult to decipher all the alphabets properly. When you are laying out, it might create hamper to the original design as such. So those things should be avoided. When to use serif font, when to use uh, sans serif font, when to use display font, when to use block fonts, monospacing font. All these things, if you want to learn, you can contact me. I often do a lot of workshop. I often do a lot of live classes. So you can get in touch with me and you can contact me via my email address, tridibcoach2015 @gmail.com, or you can contact me in my LinkedIn and YouTube profile. So coming back to the design, so recently I had an workshop and just day before yesterday, and we gave a task of creating a poster for the World Nature Day, which was yesterday. Okay. Now, yesterday, that is 3rd of October. So now the thing is that many of the students, the participants, they came up with designs, and since they are learning for the first time, very few actually could make a decent design in this process. I took one of the design in this particular episode. I will try to dissect the design and I will tell that why this design is not a wow design, why there is a grammatical mistakes in the design, and then I will take this design and show you how I change the design to a better looking one. Okay, so let me share my screen. Hope you are able to see my screen. So this particular image was created by one of the participants, and they took one image from pexels.com. Pexels.com has wonderful amount of great imagery created by a lot of great photographers. So you can follow them, but please try to share their name when you are actually doing it, because they are doing all these things free of cost just to get some name and fame. And I will give a big shout out to all the, not only one image. This image, I even don't know who is the image, who is the photographer of this particular image, because I got it from one of the participants who used the Pixel 6. So, but definitely, since it is from Pixels, I would like to thank all the photographers, all the videographers of Pixels for their fantastic job. And now coming back to this design, what are the major issues of this design? Let us understand. So basically, if you see, this design has a lot of issues in balance and all. Though this particular designer, this particular participant has tried to create a balance using a yellowish color, yellowish triangle from both the sides, is somehow giving the image a little bit of balance. What is happening is the green is so stark in the background, and the front um, toad or the frog is so bright. It is actually not creating the contrast. Another major issue which most of the newcomers or the new designers do is that they use a lot of fonts in their design. So see, this person has added 3 different fonts over here, and let us see what are the fonts over here. So there is this world is been done with a font called Monotype Corsiva. This one is Apple Juice, and this one again, Azov San. Okay, so there are 3 different fonts, and not only that, uh, these 2 are left aligned. These 3 again is middle aligned, so the alignment is missing. And the placement of the font also I didn't like somehow, because it is this text is somehow coming over the image of the frog, and it is not balancing enough. I think it is overpowering the image. And also these 3 colors, 3 different types of colors. I think he has picked one color from the leg, one color from this palette, and one white. So usually my request to all of you guys is that don't use more than 2 fonts. Try to use a family where you can use the same family, and using the thin, thick, regular, medium, bold, semi-bold, all the members of the family, you can create a fantastic design. Also understand that there are certain fonts that don't go with your design. This you will not understand immediately, but you will definitely understand after certain experience. So this particular image, if I would have done in a much faster way, and what I did in the uh, forum itself, I created this entire design live. Okay, so what I did, so I will just go step by step. I will just remove certain aspects. So what I did, I took this image, actual image, which you have seen, and what I did, I selected out this thing and masked it. Okay, so if you see the all, you see the mask, you see the actual image. So you can see the actual image, bang, this thing. So I created that image. I selected the image out using the select, and you can actually create subject, and you can select the entire. So this is a wonderful tool of Photoshop. So you can just click on subject, and Photoshop AI does a fantastic job in selecting the main object of the image. So it removes most of the blurry images and all these things. Okay, so it was a very fast job. So I would not say that it's a waste of the world job, but I have tried, what I've shown the people is that how to make this design more standardized. Okay, so basically I removed this particular frog from the background layer, and I also used another fantastic tool over here. I used the I used the selection tool, and then I right clicked on it, and then I told that uh, remove from background. So it cleared the image from the background and gave me a clear cut background image in the background. It is a very easy process. You can do it with all latest Photoshop CC files. So that actually created the entire two separate layers. Also, another thing I did before starting with any sort of fonts and all these things, I tried to play with the background contrast. So you see over here, I had first tried to create a background layer, a black and white. I tried to understand whether this will work very well with a background black and white and a colored foreground. I tried a lot of options over here, but it didn't work out because it is losing the entire nature part of the thing. I have to show nature because it's the world nature day. It is not about only the frog. It is about the nature, the greenery. So some level of the greenery should come. Also, if you see, I have made the background a little bit blurred. The reason is that I want to create depth of field. I just actually increased that. It was already background blur, but I had increased the blur a little bit so that the foreground stands out. And then I used a color lookup, and I toned down the color a little bit so that it looks like a darker jungle sort of thing out there. And I toned down the entire stuff. Obviously, I am personally not happy with this particular area. I could have done a better job, but I did a very quick and dirty job over there. So you can see the this particular area could have been cut out properly in a much better way. So for the time being, it is absolutely okay because we are learning together at this point of time. And also, I tried to create a grid over here. I also created a small logo unit, a random logo unit with this image from freepik.com. Again, Freepik is a place where you can find a lot of graphic design elements for which can actually add value to your design. And I created a small grid. I wrote a random thing, world, nature, council, and all these things. Now, let me understand. Let me show you what I actually did in this design. I created a mix of two fonts over here. One is this jungle font. It is nature. It looks. The name of the font is nature. You can get it from Envato. I use Envato Marketplace images. So this is an Envato image. It's a Envato font. Pardon me. This is an Envato font. You can use this Envato font over this when you are using jungle or nature-based design. This particular font is fantastic. The name of the font is jungle. It is jungle flower, I think. Yeah, jungle flower. So jungle fever. Sorry. So this is another major issue with all generative palettes and all these things. Photoshop has made the font size so less, it immediately doesn't trigger which font it is. It is jungle fever. You can take this jungle fever font from dafont.com. It is a very good place for all your fonts requirement. I majorly use from Dafont or Adobe fonts, or I use my Envato Marketplace fonts. So font is very important. So what I have done, so this world has been taken in nature font. So this is nature, this is jungle fever, and this is also a jungle fever. So jungle fever, but I did a different treatment over here. I took the font, I took a different layer. I took an outline of the font. I selected the font and then create an outline and then remove the layer. So you can find two different layers over here. So one is this, which is the actual font, and then you have the layer of outline over here. And over here, if you see that this particular layer and this nature and world is actually kept behind the frog to give a 3D depth. Okay, that the layers are in different layers. Okay, the layers are actually um, separated from each other. So give it a intertwining things, giving it a intermixing stuff. So this particular thing is giving a depth value to the thing. Now I have balanced the entire design with this rectangular block over here. It is unknowingly breaking the entire design into two halves. Okay, so the balance is proper. The depth, I have already told you that how we maintain the depth. I gave a little bit of color look up to give a different shade to the background so that it's not very bright and overpowering. So I totally toned down. For you, if you don't want the tone down effect, it's totally up to you. You can keep it as it is like. But I personally like this tone down effect. So design is very subjective. Also, what we do, we try to create not only the world, nature, day, and all these things. We try to create a sub heading or a subline. So I have just randomly took this. Let us save the nature together, and a small hyphen or a small dash, horizontal dash, just below the nature properly balances the entire design. Okay, so you have to check. It was a random thing, so I have to just check whether it is right in the center or not. Yes, it is right at the center, and this outline and this underline is just below the nature. So now you can understand that how a specific design can be made really wonderful just by using some basic grammar of the in the design. So if you see it in full screen, this is your design. Okay, this is your design. Isn't it looking more smoother, more um, balanced, more visually happening? The right fonts being used in the right context, the color balance, the depth, even the logo is proportion. If you see the guidelines, you see that it is particularly aligned with both the sides and all this. So it is equal number of spacing in both the sides. The logo has been placed at the right corner, right corner, and the right corner is the left corner. So it is very well structured in this. So whenever, for all the designers, for novice to mid-level designers, try to experiment, do a lot of experimentation, try to create an experience for your viewer. Okay, just don't play only with the principles of designs. Then you will be a good designer, you will not be a great designer. Okay, try to learn the grammar. To break the grammar is very important. And always remember, don't fear anything. A good design that you like might not be liked by other people. That is okay, because design is subjective. Okay, though design solves a purpose, design is again subjective. The same person might not like the design after a few days. So you have to understand this very carefully, that what um, do not try to judge your design by what other people say. Okay, you have to judge the design with full understanding with the basic principles of designs. Okay, whether the outlines are correct, whether the alignments are correct, whether the balance is correct, whether the contrast is correct, whether you are having a hierarchy in the design, that has to be absolutely paramount. If you don't have all these things in place, your design might fall flat. So it is very important for us to understand that what we should do in a design, what we should not do in a design. And after doing the same thing again and again, and see, I am still fidgeting with the design because I did this design very fast. and I'm still not very happy with the design, in the sense that it is a very fast hand work, though it gives you a basic principle of how you can make a okay design. I will never say a design is bad, because all these students, all these participants are learning their design for the first time. Okay, so it is no way I'm going to uh, uh, tell them hurt their sentiments, or demotivate them in certain way that, you know, this is a bad design or something like that. And bad design only happens when you don't take the effort yourself. Okay, see, if you see this design, the design as a starter, he has tried to do a lot of stuff. He has tried to balance the design. He has tried to play with the words, with the fonts. He might go wrong. There is no problem in that. But he has tried to do this thing. If you actually see in that way, here, this particular line somehow balance this thing. This triangle balances it. Uh, this font actually totally takes away from the entire design, and it looks bad because of this particular font playing of different types of fonts and different types of colors at the same time. So try to understand that uh, as a starter, none of your designs are bad. Always try, as I told you, go on doing experimentation. Try to create experience for your end user. Then only you will actually learn certain things. Okay. Don't shy away from experimentation. Don't shy away from taking risks. But do it after a certain point of time when you are absolutely clear about the type of placements that you are doing. You know that your grammar is absolutely correct. Your color choice, your image choice, your font choice are absolutely correct. Then only start breaking the grammar. But don't break the grammar in such a way that you go back to your old ways of totally forgetting your grammar. Okay. So there are small places you can play with the grammar, but overall, um, you should keep the grammar intact and then experiment over and above. That's all, folks. Hope you have liked this particular design and this particular process of how to choose a particular font, how to take a font family, how to take a font on the right context, how to work with the layers, with the colors, how to tone down the color at certain point, how to boost the color at certain point, how to create grids and then place your stuff. There should be proper balance on both the sides, up and down, and how to create a visually appealing typography. Okay. So see, in this particular thing, I think I took actually 15 to 20 minutes when I was doing the live class, but I felt that it is important for all of you to understand um, how to tweak a okay design to a good design. Okay. Uh, the best design will come later on, because you cannot jump from 0 to 100 at one class or something like that. But this is a basic guidelines. I felt this is the best day to talk about nature, save nature, love nature, and don't destroy what God has given us. Okay. We have abundant nature, and don't create a life where you don't find nature. Okay. Life without nature is death. Please understand that. Help each other to sustain the nature, help each other to grow the nature, to protect the nature, and don't make it die. So with that thought, please like, share and comment in this video. If you really like it, please subscribe to the channel if you really like the channel, and hit the bell icon so that you can get all our upcoming updates. Goodbye and God bless.